Good afternoon, everybody. Hello from all at HIT Training and HIT Chef Academy. Hope you're well, hope you're keeping safe. Again, just another little life hacks video from me today. I'm Mark Belford from the Chef Academy, and this is my son.
Hello.
This is Zane, and Zane's going to be helping me out today to make some samosas. We're going to make some vegan samosas. Now, in a couple of videos back, I did some pinwheels with some convenience pastry. This time we're going to use some filo pastry, completely suitable for vegans, wonderful product. Really lovely, versatile thing to have in your fridge. So I'm going to run through the fillings with you first, and in a Blue Peter style, we've already got a couple of things just on the go. So this is going to produce hopefully 20 samosas. It depends on the pack size you've got, and they're not all universal. All right, so I'm going to just quickly run through the ingredients. So we've got 2 cloves of garlic, and I've just grated that ever so lightly, just on the very small setting of a grater. I find that if you chop it on the board, you end up with an incredibly garlicky board. We want to keep all the flavour, so I just grate it straight into a little dish. I've got 1 chilli, deseeded, finely diced. I have half a teaspoon of ginger, half a teaspoon of cumin, and half a teaspoon of garam masala. I'm making mine very mild today. If you like it a little bit hotter, a little bit warmer, a little bit more aromatic, I suggest you make those quantities a teaspoon of each. I've got 50 grams of frozen peas, I've got 50 grams of sweetcorn frozen, and I've got 1 onion diced. Nothing majorly big, you know. And I've got 1 green pepper, again just deseeded and finely chopped. I have got a little wedge of lime. I do like a little wedge of lime in mine, just a little bit of acid. If you don't have that, don't worry, it's not the end of the world. A little tiny splash of vinegar, that'll just take the edge off. You want all these balance of flavours, okay? So Zane is just going to prepare the potato for me as well. So we've got 1 medium-ish potato, something about yay big, I'd say cricket ball size, and Zane's just going to chop that up for me now, and just while he's chopping it up, I'm going to show you the stages that Zane goes through for that, okay? So what you'll do is you'll slice the potato, yay thick, probably in old money about 1 centimetre thick. He then cuts that into a baton, okay? So he cuts down the potato in strips, and he gets himself basically a chip. And then he'll end up with something like this. Now the beauty of this dish is I don't parboil this, I don't make a faff. If anybody knows me, I am Captain how can we streamline this recipe? All right, and we can just cook this in the pan. So all the mixture's gonna get cooked now. So Zane's just finishing off the last of the potato that we need. And I'll clear his board away for him. Fantastic. Good job, Chef. Thank you very much. Right, so we've got enough potato there, Zane. So Zane's going to now put 2 tablespoons of oil into the pan. Again, preheated, and it's just on a low to medium setting. I don't want to fry this hard. I just want to cook it down, all right? So Zane's going to do that for me, because he's a good egg. He's already had his V-Bucks if anyone's worried, so I can show you the receipt. Okay, perfect, thank you, Zane. So, the order in which to cook this, I'm going to go through now, alright? Thank you, Zane. That's perfect, mate. Wonderful job. Onions and peppers into the pan first. So Zane's going to put those into the frying pan. You can use the Maurice if you want to scrape the bowl out. Thank you, Chef. And when you get that sizzle, you know your pan's preheated, you're in the right place, okay? What I'd say to you at this stage as well is preset your oven to 200 degrees C. I've made this recipe vegan today by the use of a vegan soya spread. So I've got 100 grams of a vegan soya spread, and I've melted that down, and we're going to brush our filo pastry with it. If you don't have that, and you guys are okay with vegetarian, then I would just suggest you use butter. You can use milk, but you want something fat-based ideally, okay? So that's gone in there. So this is the order to go in now. So we get the garlic and the chilli into the pan, and there's a teaspoon, so we don't have any chili-related bathroom accidents later. Notice on the skid for all these videos as we go on. That's it, Zane. Beautiful. Thank you. Garlic in, please, Chef. Kitchen smells wonderful already. If your pan is looking a little dry, add a touch more oil. That's it, fine. Thank you, Zane. Wonderful stuff. Our spices go in. Just tip those in, Zane, and stir them with the Maurice. And that's it, get them all out, lovely. That's it, give it all a nice stir around. And if you can give it a nice pinch of salt, please, which is just there. Thank you very much. So a little bit of seasoning as well. You don't have to go too OTT on this because we're using spices. And also at the end, I'd suggest just a lovely little mango chutney to accompany this dish, or anything you've got knocking around that wise. That would be absolutely beautiful and accompany this dish very, very well. Now that the weather's changed and it's a bit warmer and it's beautiful and sunny, this is just a lovely little light snack. We just call it picky bits, and we just sit out and we'll just have a few little random bits, and these are perfect within the fridge. Okay, so Zane's just going to saute that off, and we're just going to cook that down. Obviously, we're prepared. We don't want this video to go on forever. All right, so once you've cooked that down for about 5 minutes, all right, you want to cook it down. Your onions will soften, your peppers will soften, and your potatoes will start to break down. The potatoes are your indicator that your filling is ready. So what you want to do is just check every couple of minutes that potatoes are softened down. You can press them in the pan, see if they break. Take one out with a clean spoon and just taste it. If it's a little bit crunchy, then just carry on cooking it, okay? With this as well, just a little bit of water. There's 50 mils of water in here. What you do is you create a little steam. So you'll be frying, the water goes in, you'll create a steam. That will help soften your onions and help soften your potato. What will happen is the water will be driven off and you'll return back to a fry, so the noise will change in the pan. So just keep an eye on it, that intuition, just cooking away. Just have that feel, have that sight, and have that trust. Those potatoes, as a small cube, shouldn't take any more, I would say, than 7 to 8 minutes, and just cook them down. If you've cut them a bit larger, just cook them a bit longer. A little bit of water, a little bit of love, and just regulate the heat that way. Okay, so Zane, you are good there, my friend. So we'll leave that cooking. Once you've got to the end and the potatoes are cooked, add your frozen vegetables. If they've been out for an hour, it doesn't matter if they're defrosted. If they go in frozen, that's not the end of the world. Give them 1 or 2 minutes just to cook and soften through. Then what you want to do is just take that off the heat. Now this can be filled warm, but it can't be filled hot. Your pastry will tear, okay? But with all curries, all chefs will tell you, we had Alex Claridge on last week, make them a couple of days in advance and let those flavors mature and mingle. They get to know each other. And then you can go to your filling stage. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of this board and we're going to go to the pastry. So that's just ticking away nicely. Zane is now going to show you how to wrap the samosas. Okay, so we've done a little practice. If you don't end up with the shape that you want, it doesn't matter. The stomach doesn't know what ugly is, but the stomach knows what tasty is. And that's what the most important thing is today. Okay, so filo pastry. Incredibly thin, incredibly brittle, and incredibly fragile. So what you want to do is when you take it out of the pack, and we're going to be making these samosas, what you want to do is just a nice damp tea towel. And what I've got in here, I've got a folded over clean cloth, and I've got the pastry within. All right, the pastry is incredibly fragile. In here, I've got the 100 grams of soya spread. So hence, this is an entirely vegan dish today. And that you'll see the application for in a minute when my esteemed son and sous chef is going to show you how to wrap a samosa. So what Zane's going to do first, he's going to brush the entire layer of the filo pastry with the melted soya spread. This not only acts as almost a moisturiser to keep the pastry nice and supple for the rolling part, it also acts as a glue and a binder. So what we're going to do is every layer and fold of this process, if you watch Zane, we are making sure that it's completely buttered and beautiful. That's it, Zane. You fire away. Make sure it's all coated. That's it, well done. Okay. So right, your first fold, you take the bottom piece, the bottom edge, and you fold a third in, as Zane has just done there. And then using the back of the hands, you'll just smooth it out slightly. All right, perfect job. He's now going to butter that layer, so he's going to butter that fold. Now he's going to take the top edge and fold that over the fold that you've made to meet in the middle. Okay, so you've gone from an A4 sheet size to a strip. He's now going to butter that edge as well. Beautiful. Now we're ready to add the filling. Now after your 8 minutes of cooking or so, you should end up with a filling like that. Now, if you don't have frozen sweet corn, you don't have frozen peas, you don't necessarily have all of the vegetables you've here today, just make up the quantities whatever you've got. This is what we call a dustbin dish. This is where we use up stuff, we're utilising produce. If you don't have frozen sweet corn but you have tinned, use tinned, it's not a problem. Just drain off the excess water. You want a little bit of moisture in your mixture, otherwise your filling will be too dry, but you don't want loads, okay? So it's just for mouth. And remember, if you're serving it, serve it with a dip or a chutney or something, okay? So Zane's now gonna fill and fold, as they say. All right, so what you want is roughly either a very heaped teaspoon or just a good dessert spoon's worth of the filling. Now Zane has put it right at the end of the pastry. Zane, if we can just show that to the camera. And what he's got around here is a 2 centimetre gap. That's going to allow him to fold it and press it in. If a little bit of the mixture falls out as you fold it, don't worry about that. We can tuck it back in, and bear in mind, we're going to roll it all up anyway, so don't worry about it. So your first fold, you take the left-hand corner and you fold down to make a triangle. There we go. And Zane's just using his sides of his hands just to square it all up. Well done, well done. And then we fold again. And just imagine you're making an equilateral triangle. So again, great for the kids. A little bit of functional skills, a little bit of maths. All right. So Zane's going to fold along, and he's just pivot and folding, pivot and folding. There we go. That's all right. And then fold down there and tuck over. Well done. Fantastic. Let me show that to the camera. Okay. So there you go. It's just a little triangular parcel. You can just do squares if you don't want to. You can change up the shape. It's your dish. You're going to eat this. Okay. What you want to do is then brush this all over with your butter or your soya spread. And as all chefs, especially at Hit Chef Academy, we're always prepared. So onto a baking tray. I've run out of baking parchment, but I'm not going to go out for one thing today. I don't want to. Just a little bit of oil, very lightly, with a bit of kitchen towel and a dusting of flour. That goes into the oven for around 15 to 20 minutes, depending on your oven, depending on your setting. And when they come out of the oven, excuse me, boo-boo. I call him boo-boo on camera, I'm going to get my head kicked in for that. I'll just flip the board. You're going to end up with these absolute delicious little treats. There you go, and look how wonderful they are. Zane is going to cut these in half so we can just show you what they're like. So, when they come out of the oven, they are piping hot. Absolutely piping hot, so you want to be very careful. Now listen to this. That's good. And that's what we're talking about. And saw straight through, Zane. And there we go. Beautiful. May I? If I can take that one, I'll just show the camera and you cut the other two for me, please. Well, they've got a beautiful filling inside. These cost absolutely pence to make. That pack of filo pastry was on offer and I got it for £1. And the rest of the ingredients didn't come to much more than £1 either. What a satisfying noise.
Might make a bit of a mess, but that's alright.
So yeah, filo is a little bit flaky, but so eat them outside if you don't want to do the hoover, or do what we did and we got a staffy and just hoovers everything up. It's brilliant, saves time. Chuck that there, Zane. Thank you very much. I'll put them on the plate. Well done, well done, well done. You'd like to hold that up to the camera and go steady so we don't have a pizza video mishap.
Oh.
So, samosas made by an 11-year-old, start to finish, vegan, cheap, from all the things in your cupboard, and just pick yourself up a pack of filo pastry when you're on your weekly shop. From everybody at Hit Chef Academy and Hit Training, I'd like to say stay safe, enjoy these recipes, enjoy these videos, and if there's anything you would like us to try to make, put it in the comments box. We appreciate it, we like the feedback. Goodbye everybody.